Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Arnold. I'm a student actuary currently working and studying in the UK. In the previous videos, I talked a bit about actuary. In today's video, I'm going to talk more specifically about how the coronavirus has changed the exams. And a disclaimer here, this video is mostly going to be about the IFOA exams, which is the UK based one. And so if you're following the US curriculum, this video might not be applicable to you. So we've now been living in this coronavirus situation for almost a year now. This has made going out and having a large number of people in the same room very difficult. The lockdown rules enforced in different countries are restricting the way we can conduct exams normally. So the IFOA in the UK has now completely changed the exam format to make it online friendly so that we can write our exams online from now on. And in today's video, I'll go through two of the biggest changes that I and other friends of mine who are also studying and sitting the exams have set to affect them the most. The exams are now open book, which means that you can now put your course notes next to your desk when you're doing the exams. If you're one of the students who uses the Acted ebook, you can easily find an equation by just clicking Ctrl F on the keyboard, or if you're using an iPad, you can just go on the search bar and search what you want. In the September exam, there was this one question in the CS2 exams about copula, which I forgot a specific copula equation. I had my course note next to me at that time, so I just went through the course note and go to the summary page and found out the specific copula formula that I needed. Do make sure you take advantage of the open book. Besides being able to look at your course note, the open book format also means that now the IFOA has took out a lot of the bookwork questions that are usually quite easy for well-prepared students in the past to just score like an easy 5 marks. But now these bookwork questions are all replaced by application-based questions, because if they put a bookwork question, you can just copy down the bookwork and that would just be useless under open book exam. So no more bookwork questions. You have to familiarize yourself more with the application-based questions, so make sure you take that into account when you do your past papers. The second biggest change around the exams are with regards to the notations. This effect will be more pronounced in the core exams such as CS1, CS2, CM1 and CM2. These exams require you to write a lot of equations and show all your workings. In the past, you can just do it on paper and that will be relatively easy as long as you know what you're writing. But now, because we have to type our workings in Microsoft Word, this makes answering equation-based questions a lot harder to do. You have to type in all these annuity notations, you have to type in all these mortality notations, which can prove to be quite time-consuming. So make sure that when you do your past papers, each time when you finish answering a question, also practice typing it on Microsoft Word. For more information, you can check out the IFOA website, which has a guide on how to type out notations. So at this point, you might be thinking, oh, I'll just wait until the pandemic is over and do the exams, because in-person exams just seem a lot easier than doing it online. But during the December IFOA town hall, the IFOA has expressed that even after the pandemic, they will still keep this online format going forward, which means that there's no choice but to be familiar with the current content and the current format right now. So after telling you about the major changes in the exam format, I'll give you some actionable points on how you can better prepare yourself under the current exam conditions. So firstly, when you do past papers, I suggest doing the past paper as before, but after completing each question, practice typing it out on Microsoft Word, time yourself and see how well you do with time. Previously, if you know the content well, it probably doesn't take you too long to complete the exams. However, right now, after you answer the questions, you still have to type it in, and that can cause serious time constraints if you don't plan well in advance. So in my September exams, the strategy that I used is that when I was in the exam, each time after answering a question, I'll straight away type it into the Microsoft Word. When I finished my CS2 paper, I barely had any time left. The second advice I'll give you is to take advantage of the open book format. Put down some memos in front of you so that it's easily accessible when you're doing your exams. When you know that there are things that you probably won't remember or don't want to remember. For example, you might not remember all the copula, you might not remember something specific about time series, or you might need it for stochastic calculus. Just make sure that you have some of these memos in front of you so that you can access them. It might also be a good time to switch it up and use ebook going forward, so you can just use Ctrl F whenever you need to find a piece of information instead of sifting through a bunch of paper and not knowing which page is the information you're looking for exactly in. And the last point is get a strong and reliable Wi-Fi. The last thing you want to deal with under exam condition and all the stress of the new syllabus is to also deal with an unstable Wi-Fi at the same time and be pulling your hair out. That's it for today's video. I hope you find this useful, and I hope this gives you some actionable pointers in terms of preparing yourself in doing the exams under this new format. If you find my video useful, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what kind of content you want to see next. If you haven't yet, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Arnold Ho. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Bye bye.